Hey guys, Appalachian Empire here today with another gun review. I got my co-host Johnny with me. Don't worry, we haven't replaced Drew. He's just away for the day. But we have the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 here. This is a really awesome firearm. This happens to be the pistol version. I've wanted this for a really long time, but let's take a closer look. Let's get into it. Okay guys, now we're going to take a closer look at the firearm, starting in the front. So right off the bat, with the pistol version, you're going to get a 7-inch barrel, followed by a quad Picatinny rails with the top rail extending to the back of the firearm, so that gives you a couple options for what you can mount on the gun. Also right up front, you'll see that CZ has included a nice hand stop to prevent you from going too far and injuring yourself. The pistol does feature ambidextrous controls for both the safety, the mag release, and I believe the charging handle can be moved from left to right depending on how you'd like it to be. We do get 2 magazines with this gun. We're only displaying one here. They're both 20 round magazines, 9mm of course. And as you can probably see, we have made some adjustments to the gun. This is not the stock gun that you would buy from the gun store, but we'll talk about those later on. In addition, CZ does include 2 sights up top, which is really nice. And I'd also like to mention right off the bat, even though it does have full ambidextrous controls, the shells do only eject from one side, so it's not like a Bren or something where you can change the side that the shells will eject on. And that's about it right up front. And like I said, we'll talk about some of the features that we've included later on in the video. But let's shoot the thing. Alright guys, we are out here at the shooting portion and it is hot. It is 80 degrees and the pollen count is through the roof, so you'll have to forgive my sniffles and my sweats. But, alright, so I already have the gun locked back here, so that's the first thing I'm going to talk about. If you look on this side, you can lock the bolt back. It is non-reciprocating. You can lock it back, which just means it doesn't move every time you fire. You can lock it back and you can slap it forward like an MP5, which is kind of a cool effect. One thing that's really interesting about this gun, I'm going to go ahead and release the bolt. There's nothing in the chamber, and it's downrange. So if you put it into safe, you try to cock it, it won't go back. But if you put it into fire, you can bring it all the way back, which is nice. And like I mentioned, you do have full ambidextrous safety, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, why I put the delete on here. But to simplify it, the safety was digging into my finger and it was very uncomfortable to shoot, but I still have the safety on the left side of the firearm. Also on the left side we have the bolt release, which is not ambidextrous, interestingly enough, but you could put the bolt on this side and then slap it down on this side as well, I guess. The mag release, which we'll demonstrate after we get done firing, is also ambi, and it is right here. We do have the CAC stabilizing brace on here, so it's going to fire a little bit different than it would if it was just the pistol with nothing back here. Alright, also the magazines, of which you get 2, hold 20 rounds double stacked of 9mm. We have 115 grain full metal jacket in here, so let's see what we can do. First we're going to put on our PPE and we'll set the gun down. I know these are not very stylish, but this is what we had. Alright, so we're going to load the magazine in similar to the way we load the magazine into anything else. And just to be cool, we're going to slap it and fire. Here we go. Clear. And the bolt locks to the rear just like with an AR-15, and as you can see I can depress this side or this side and release the magazine. Alright, now I'm going to let Johnny shoot it really fast and see how fast we can get through a 20 round magazine. Alright, here goes Johnny. 20 rounds of 115 grain 9mm. Let's see what it does. Clear. So as you can see, he was able to dispatch those both quickly and accurately. All right, guys, let's follow up or finish up with some thoughts. All right, guys, just wrapping up with some final thoughts here. This is an amazing firearm. It pretty much any 9mm carbine gun. It's going to be really fun to shoot, really easy to shoot. It's great for new shooters to get people involved in firearms for your kids. I do not recommend this for home defense at all, just because of the price point. Because once you get up to that price point, when you're pushing $1,000, there's some more inexpensive, and I say inexpensive because people get offended when I say cheap, firearms out there on the market that'll do the job for a fraction of the price. But you could use it for home defense very effectively, as it is a 9mm. You don't really have to worry about over-penetration and that sort of thing. But anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. A lot I love about the gun, but here's where we get into the gripes. And Johnny's gonna show you some of the stuff. We've got the parts laid out here that we had to purchase to get the firearm to where it's at today. We'll start off with and again, a disclaimer, love the gun, but I'm just being honest. I absolutely despise the safety. Right off the bat, like I said, it's ambidextrous, so you have a safety on both sides, and Johnny's modeling it here for you. The original safety, as you can see, when it's in the fire position, just digs into your pointer finger every shot. And I don't know why they didn't make it flush. I don't know why that wasn't a thing. You'd have to ask CZ. That's my biggest gripe, honestly. I don't like that it doesn't come with a brace, because a lot of more inexpensive options do come with a brace. And I will say, and we've got the part here, the original part, it is a pain in the rear end to get off. But once you do get it off, obviously you can install something like this CAC stabilizing brace that we have here. Up front, Picatinny rails are fine. I just don't like Picatinny. I like M-Lock or Keymod better. But that's personal preference, and I'll just say the reason that is because when you can see I put these Daniel Defense rail guards on, just because Picatinny is typically uncomfortable, whereas M-Lock and Keymod are flush unless you have something there. A lot of people complained about the angle of the pistol grip, and Johnny's got that one there for you to see. I didn't have a problem with it. I just did it just to do it. I will say I like the mag pull a lot better. The texture's a lot nicer. It's not as slick, but the angle didn't bother me at all. So people complain about everything, myself included. The ambidextrous mag release in the right up past the pistol guard there, or the trigger guard, sorry. A lot of people complained about that you couldn't push it with your thumb fast enough, or that it wasn't wide enough. I had no issues with that, and so therefore I didn't replace it. But other than that, I love this gun. This is one of my favorite firearms that I've ever fired, or that I've ever owned in that matter. Is there anything you'd like to add, Johnny?
I got nothing. You covered everything pretty much. Again, the biggest complaint that I've had, or concern rather, of course, was with the fire safety. It was very uncomfortable to fire with that thing on. Every time you pulled the trigger, it just dug right back into your finger. It's not a great feeling.
And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but all of these upgrades. So the firearm pushes about $950 in Tennessee. That's with your background check and everything. The additional modifications costed $250, which pushes you over the $1,000 range. And there's firearms at that level that offer more than this offers. So that's all I'm getting at. I love the gun, again, but that's all I'm getting at. But if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.